What's up, guys? Z-Farrells here. Big weekend in Ultimate Team. Black Friday Ultimate Blitz, led of course by Night Train Lane, whose stats we will go over in just a second. But also a huge Legend weekend with Sean Taylor and Ahman Green making a return. So right now, real quick, I know my face cam is down, but we'll get that back up and working this week for you. And we'll look real quick at the Football Outsiders. Steve Smith, who you can see here, has 88 speed, 90 route running, 85 release, 90 spec, and 93 catching traffic. A pretty decent slot receiver version. They get him up to 88 speed. He's never been a tall receiver, so he's really only had his elusiveness, and he's pretty strong actually for his size. But he's been down as he got older in Madden, and they reduced a lot of speed. But this version's actually pretty decent for a slot receiver. Compares sort of the Edelman, who's a little slower, but decent route running. If he was up over 92, he'd be all right. The Kurt Coleman with 86 speed and no hit power as a pass. Gilliam he's okay at right tackle, but 85 strength. I'd like to see him a little bit more. I know there's not a lot of right tackles though, so he could be considered. Good strength, good block shed. A pretty solid Morgan. We'd have to check out his run and pass moves, which are 88 power move and 80 finesse. So pretty good balance and not a bad little Morgan. But, I think the item everyone knows they want to get to is Night Train. And I'm going to ask the question today, what's the best secondary in Ultimate Team? Who are the 5 best players in the secondary in Ultimate Team? And I'm going to give you the answer in a second here. But first up, Sean Taylor has 92 speed, so great speed. He's above 91 speed, which has kind of been that threshold. He's 6'2". He has 95 hit power, and they gave him 88 zone coverage, which is very good, with 75 man. So he is a true safety, as he doesn't really have the Kraus ability to play multiple things. He doesn't have the best play rec. I like to see it above 90, but you can't deny that speed, strength, agility, hit power is incredible. Only 65 spec catch, so maybe there could be some drops, or maybe he won't get the best animations, but I think his size will make up for a lot of that. I'm going to go ahead and rank him easily as the best free safety in the game, above the Brian Dawkins and above the Harrison Smith and a few of the other players. But the question becomes, where do you play that Sean Taylor? Because we got a Night Train Lane in our tickets. Now, he was 200 tickets, I believe. Super expensive. So is the Sean Taylor. But Night Train's a CB who's generally come to Ultimate Team in the last 3 years with great hit power. This version gives you 91 speed, 92 man coverage, 93 zone coverage, 87 press. Agility is his lower issue, so you can't really press and you can't really play true man all out, but he has plenty of speed, and you really could play man with 92. That's just if you're really being nitpicky. His press is and agility are a little bit low. But he does get to that 90 play rec threshold that I love. He has 85 pursuit. He has really high block shed for a corner. 76 is pretty darn good. Could be a little higher, but that's really nice. And 80 strength. He also has only 55 spec catch. I feel like he's generally had higher in the past. So for 900K, and the Sean Taylor at $1 million, though, that's 2 million coins in the secondary. So who is worth your coins? Well, to me right now, and I've kind of sampled this on Twitter. We'll come back and then we'll go over the last Ahman Green and the Mike Evans. But I'm looking at this as a secondary. Kraus at strong safety, I think, is the guy right now. I like what he brings to the table. I think you could potentially play Night Train if you wanted to. At the free safety or the strong safety position. I was talking to VTech, who's one of the players competing next week in Burbank. He's running Kraus at the free safety and Night Train at the strong safety. I know Willie Brown is kind of the other really popular item that I'm not accounting for in this. He's kind of the other 91 speed CB who a lot of people seem to like. But if you had the top 5, it would obviously be these 3 guys. This new Antonio Cromartie, Night Train, and then Blount. And I think the hit power and the way people are playing cover 2 and these guys' ability to block shed, and then this blitzing style CB, you could blitz really anybody off that edge from the nickel, the pressure that people are sending. And you could move Night Train, but I think any combination of these 5 guys, depending on how your team operates, would be the best secondary in Ultimate Team. Now, coin-wise, Blount is such a better value than Night Train Lane at this point because they're similarly rated. Obviously, Night Train is better, but he is not, in my opinion, 800,000 coins better than him. So that's a tricky play. And same thing, like, is Brian Dawkins, you know, is Sean Taylor 10 times better than Brian Dawkins? Well, not if he's 10 times more coins, but still, he's the best option if you're going for that all-out true team. Now, for the budget guys who come here, they watch the channel, they just want to, you know, maybe they didn't go all after this Blitz promo, which was tough to get. Jalen Ramsey, who we know that Stiffmeister uses on his salary cap team, is a great option with really high block shed, really good hit power. And then this Jimmy Ward over here can also fill in. So if you want to play this style of defense that you're seeing a lot of people play, you saw Matster kind of play it a little bit. You saw J.O. in our recent game play this type of defense where they're sending the corner and they're having good block shed corners on the outside and they're playing a lot of zone, a lot of cover two. Those are some really good players that you can pick up, and those would be my choice for 5. Kraus because he does it all, Cromartie because of his spec catch, and, you know, Night Train and Blunt because of their hit power and their ability for zone coverage, which is the way to go right now. The other items that came through in Blitz sets were a Tyrone Smith, who has 88 strength, and he's above 90 in both run block and pass block. I know people were hyped about this item, and obviously he is great. He's left tackle. I like to get a little more strength in my left tackle, to be honest, but, you know, all the Smiths have generally had about this much strength, so he stays pretty consistent with what you would think. And he gives you that Dallas chemistry and gets you to the next level with the free and all the other options that are out there right now. Jefferson is a pass for me at free safety, although he's pretty darn balanced and pretty good with that man up at 80, the zone at 85, and the speed. I still think that there's some better options, but I don't dislike him for 20 tickets. Bruce Irvin always had good acceleration. He's a little weak, 76 strength, but you know he's got some hit power with 90. Pretty good block shed, and I bet his finesse move is super high. With he's down at 75 finesse move, but he's up to 88 power move, so that's how Irvin's been doing it. With 83 zone coverage, really high for Bruce Irvin. You could drop him, you could rush him, and he's pretty fast. A little bit of a better item than I thought off the jump. You know, Irvin's always been good for his acceleration for gap blitzes, but that's not really effective, so you'd have to send him off the edge this year. Brooks is amazing for a pass blocker. A little bit less of a run blocker, but he's always got super high strength in pass block. One of the guys I recommend for the lines. We talked about Night Train Lane, but I mean, he is serious. And then lastly, this was a miss in the community's opinion. This Mike Evans for 90 tickets, it looks like. I don't know. I'm not understanding the full community disappointment. I know 90 tickets is a lot of tickets, so you don't have to go out after him. But 89 speed for Mike Evans seems pretty good at this point. And then 94 spec catch. I know 96 people consider the next tier, and that's, you can boost your Moss up to that level, and he gets crazy animations. But at 6'5", that's crazy height for Evans. He's got 94 spec. They didn't even crush his route running down at 88. He's above 90 in spec and catching traffic. I guess, yeah, not for the amount of coins, but this is I think people were really not happy. I think that there's a role maybe for this guy in the future on some teams. Obviously, you wouldn't give up that 90 tickets for him. You'd rather have the Smith and some other packs, but don't sleep on that 94 spec 6'5" for the Z-spot routes. I know Madden doesn't play like it did last year, but where we saw golden ticket Mike Evans dominate, but this is going to be the next Mike Evans is going to be maybe a 92, 93 if he has a team of the week. He's going to get that speed up to 90. He's going to get that route running up to 90, and that spec is going to be up towards that 96. So the next Evans could be the Evans. And then lastly, we'll talk real quick about Ahman Green, who is battle ready. Zan, who I trust, has said that he is kind of the next level Derrick Henry, who can actually catch. So if you need a Derrick Henry style back who can catch, you saw the battle ready chemistry, 90 speed. 81 strength is really high for a running back with 90 plus truck, with also 90 elusive. His spins at 88, his jukes at 92, so you're going to get those precision jukes more than anything. And then his trucks at 93, so you'll get precision trucks. Now, 438 is too much, but is he a 200K back? Yes. When this all gets there, 66 route running, 68 catch in traffic, and he's got 88 carry. So the Nebraska man, Ahman Green, picks up a pretty nice legend here for you guys who like those trucking backs and can maybe even do a little more than Derrick Henry. We'll continue to monitor that situation. But that's all, guys. This is Z Farrells. I know the face cam was down, but I appreciate you guys tuning into this. I wanted to make sure I got this video up for you as we roll in another MUT weekend, and we'll be back. We'll talk premium playbooks on This Week in Madden. We also have the Madden tournaments coming up this week out in California. The Madden Classic kicks off on December 1st, so make sure you guys tune in for that. All right, until next time, guys, this is Z Farrell saying lock up.